Welcome to The Exhale. I'm Dr. Maureen Magauran. After 20 years in holistic psychiatry, I now guide ambitious women through deeper work around leadership, visibility, self-trust, and embodied power. This is a space for women ready to lead from a more grounded, fully expressed place. Let's begin. I grew up playing ice hockey as a kid. I have 11 brothers and sisters. And I had a lot of brothers around my age, and we used to play street hockey. And my mom was like, "Do you want to play ice hockey?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to give it a try." She's like, "It's a big deal. It costs a lot of money. You got to kind of go for it if you want to." And I was like, "I totally do." I learned so much through that sport. Like, it has been a phenomenal experience for me in terms of tapping into parts of myself that weren't visible anywhere else in my life up until that point. Like, I didn't really have the same sort of playing field, stage type of thing to do it. And the beauty of it was that, there's like an innocence of it. There was just a being and a doing. I started playing hockey when I was about 7, and I played with the boys. And then growing up, I found a girls' state team called the Connecticut Polar Bears. I played with them. We won the U.S. national championships multiple times. I went on to play for Yale. I played goalie. And at that time in my life, I was literally receiving every award possible. I was constantly getting most valuable player. I was Division I player of the year. I tried out for the Olympic team. It wasn't yet Olympic. It actually didn't become Olympic until I was in medical school, and I was unable to play. But the point is that I was so successful, and it was almost like some part of it didn't fully register to me. It was like I was aware of it, but there was a kind of humbleness that I had been raised with and didn't really want to be super seen. But the thing about hockey was beautiful. It was like I could put this helmet on. And once I put the helmet on and I had all the goalie gear on, which is a lot, I could go out there on the ice and just bring it all. Like, it was a space of, freedom and expansion. I remember when I used to play at Yale, whenever I would step out on the ice, there's a gorgeous rink. It's like shaped like a whale. They call it the Yale whale. It was made by a famous designer. And when I would famous architect, and when I would step onto the ice, it felt like my energy just expanded, filled the whole rink. I had this sense of confidence. I knew what I was doing. I could feel like a broadcast to the other team, like, "I'm here, watch out, like, bring your best." And the fun thing about it was, sports always felt like it was like a rising up, like it was a lifting up. So there was a sense of excitement when we were playing a really good team, or excitement when a really good player was coming. I wasn't thinking like, "Oh, I don't want him to score," or "Oh, I don't want to lose." Instead, I was like, "Yeah, here we go. This is an opportunity like to raise the game, to have fun." And the better the player, the more I would rise to meet it. And it was just this really fun thing that I had never really thought about. I'd just been playing for years and years and would allow myself to kind of go into this zone when I'd put the helmet on, get my gear on, get on the ice, and just that sense of inner confidence. And, I had a lot of success for that with national championships, playing for Yale, the player of the year, my senior year. And, it wasn't until I started to work as an entrepreneur when I was like, "Hey, where is that energy? And why isn't that energy here?" And that's actually something I see a lot in my clients. And I really help them tap into their natural energy that maybe isn't showing up when they're feeling really visible or when they're feeling under pressure, and sort of like helping them bring that into their everyday experience. And so I have thought about it a lot. I've actually created a free audio, which I'll share at the end how you can get that. But it's basically like 3 short audios where I help you tap into this part of yourself where you're in this energy, this sort of expansive, confident energy. There's no doubts, there's just being, and then how to sort of tap into it in your body, and then how to bring it forward. And I also created a masterclass called Own the Room. And I talk a lot about the ways that our energy can get caught and can feel diminished and kind of pull us away from this natural sense of our leadership, natural sense of who we are when no one's looking, when you're at home, when you're doing your own thing, when you're leading other people. And so it's like really wanting to help you tap into that, because the truth is it's needed. Things have fluctuated so much, and it's sort of like this sense of there's no more waiting. Like, there's this sense of your gifts are needed, your presence, your voice, because together we rise. The more that we support each other, that we hear each other's gifts, that we're helping other people grow and elevate, it only helps all of us. I feel like we've kind of grown up with this sense of like who we're supposed to be. And it's supposed, what is that whole thing like? There's that poem about boys and puppy dog tails and girls, whatever, sugar and spice, everything nice. And it's like, no, that is not just me. Like, sure, I can be nice, but there's also like intensity and there's force and there's standing up for things and there's valuing things and there's going against the norm. And so there's a lot of training we've had into not doing that, to quieting our voices, to being good, to people pleasing, to taking care of others. And it doesn't mean like you're going to go around and be a jerk, but it's more like you can actually express yourself and you can bring the full force of your intensity, who you are and what your gifts are, and sharing them in the world. And so ice hockey was a profound thing for me. I really didn't realize the extent of like freedom that I had in that. Like I said, until I was then like doing, big talks and in front of people. And especially when I got on social media where I was like, oh my God, I don't know who's listening to this. And, being trained as a doctor, that's another form of like, you're supposed to be this way. And particularly psychiatry, I was always taught to never really talk about myself. It's funny, I had to clear my throat there because that's actually part of the whole thing with psychiatry. You can feel how some of that like gets into your throat, like gets into your energy. And it's not made up, it's real. And so the main thing is to just sort of bring you back to even remembering these strengths. I have one client who's like an incredible kayaker. And so it's like the image of her like kayaking in the ocean in these crazy situations and wild waves, and the part of her that comes alive and loves it. Like, it's so beautiful. And it's like, okay, well, let's bring that energy into the office next time. Let's bring that energy into negotiating prices, contracts. Sort of that voice is part of who you are, even though you haven't really been trained to use that more visibly. And so we work on sort of bringing that forward. So I want to share the Own the Room Masterclass, the Own Your Energy audio as my gift. And in order to get that, if you sign up for my Substack, if you subscribe to Substack, you will receive an email which will have those links in there. I hope that it is super powerful for you and you are able to be standing and shining your light and your gifts in a way that is heard, felt, and received. You'll find more reflections, teachings, and deeper conversations inside the Exhale on Substack. And if you're feeling called towards more personalized support, you can book a clarity call through the link in the show notes. I'm so glad you were here. I'll see you next time.